So here we are, day 3 at Yellowstone, and where are we?
Old Faithful.
Within 5 minutes of arriving through the parking lot, the geyser just
Goes off. Perfect timing.
it's just magnificent. Of all the must-see things at Yellowstone, I think Old Faithful is probably at the top of the
Oh,
list.
for sure.
What's cool about Old Faithful is it's something you've heard about and seen clips, those old grainy black and white movies. You'd see Old Faithful. You've just known about Old Faithful your entire life.
Right, since you were a kid.
And now we approach the real spouter. No politician can compare with the big fellow, good Old Faithful. It's rather staggering to think that in all probability, this old blowhard has been carrying on like this since the human race was in its infancy.
You arrive at Old Faithful, and there's a huge parking lot, and you see the Old Faithful Inn.
Which is beautiful.
It's actually the largest log structure in the world.
Wow. Lots of history behind it.
And when you go inside, it's like, 3 or 4 stories?
Yep.
All this old mission furniture.
And lots of history there.
Incredible history. In fact, it is even haunted.
That's what makes it even more special.
As our daughter-in-law, Carrie, fills us in on the ghost story.
It's very interesting.
One of my favorite stories here at the Old Faithful Inn is the story of the Headless Bride, which we read about in this book, the Yellowstone Ghost Stories. And the story goes that a young, wealthy woman went against her family's wishes and married an older servant. While they were on their honeymoon, they stopped here at Yellowstone in 1914. The staff noticed lots of fighting between the couple and all kinds of altercations. It ultimately all came to a head one fateful night when the husband stormed off and the bride was not seen for a few days. They later found her body in the bathtub, headless. The husband was never seen again, but her head was eventually found at the top of the crow's nest. Story goes that at midnight you can see her coming down from the stairs wearing her wedding dress and carrying her head in her hands. Just another reason to head over here to Yellowstone National Park.
It's pretty amazing that Old Faithful, you sometimes have to remember that this is nature. This is a super volcano.
Right. Nobody's pushing any buttons to raise it.
There's no plumbing below. This isn't a Disney attraction. It erupts about 20 times a day, so it's a little over an hour in between each one, and it's usually within about a 10-minute span. And so you never have to wait more than like an hour, hour and a half.
Right, and there's plenty to see and walk around the other areas.
And after you've seen Old Faithful erupt, it's definitely worth walking the boardwalk.
Right, because there's a lot more to see with the geysers.
Yellowstone has more geysers than all the rest of the world put together. These mud volcanoes are called paint pots.
And there's the Beehive Geyser, and there's the, remember the Heart Spring?
Oh, yeah, that was pretty.
Beautiful blue water of the
Yeah.
Heart Spring.
Almost like a turquoise.
I think it was called the North Goggles Geyser went off, and it was so close to the boardwalk that you actually get sprayed upon. And a kind soul warned us, don't let the spray stay on your camera lens. Wipe it off right away. If you let it dry, it'll ruin the lens.
Yeah.
So that's a good tip to remember.
Tip to remember, for sure.
We liked Old Faithful so much, we went back on 2 different days.
Right, we had like a little picnic lunch.
Chris and Carrie bought a beautiful picnic lunch that we had right on the patio of the inn, overlooking where you can see the actual geyser Old Faithful go off.
And again, it was another beautiful day.
And a great place to watch Old Faithful erupt. Old Faithful is a great place to spend a day or even a couple of days. Plenty to do. And there's even a great gift shop, which includes incredible souvenirs,
Right.
groceries, beer and wine, liquor. It's a great place to spend a little money and get some souvenirs.
Right.
From geysers to ghost stories to the gift shops.
Old Faithful is a great place to make memories during your stay at Yellowstone.
There she goes.
Wow.
Pretty darn cool, huh?
Very cool.